We begin our Vote 2018 coverage this week with profiles on candidates that are running for governor, Senate, and House of Representatives. Today we start to discuss what each candidate stands for to help you cast your vote. Good afternoon, I'm Mallory Bart.
And I'm Joe Faust. First, we look at the Republican and Democratic candidates running for the House's 2nd Congressional District and the issues surrounding their campaigns.
All this and more right here on the Omaha News.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
Midterm elections are in 6 days, and the race for the U.S. House of Representatives in Nebraska's 2nd District is getting heated. We go live to reporter Brittany Calvert to tell us more about Don Bacon's policies.
Although Don Bacon is ahead of polls, he is campaigning hard to keep a seat against Democrat Kara Eastman, whose views completely different.
Republican Don Bacon represents Nebraska's 2nd District in the U.S. House of Representatives. He assumed office on January 3, 2017, after defeating Democrat incumbent Brad Ashford. He is now running for re-election against Democrat Kara Eastman. Bacon says he is proud of what he has done in just 2 years.
Plus, we have the best economy in 50 years, the lowest unemployment in 49 years, the best ever for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and women.
Bacon began his military career in 1985 when he joined the Air Force. He retired in 2014, but continues to place a focus on our nation's military and views continued involvement in Afghanistan as a necessity.
But here's the deal: if we pulled out, Taliban would take over time, and we'll have the problem that we had back in the 1990s. You'll have Osama bin Laden or someone similar to him.
Although Bacon's opponent believes the Affordable Care Act is broken and needs to be completely changed, he supports small modifications to the ACA to protect those with pre-existing conditions.
Reforms that we had with the health care guaranteed folks with pre-existing conditions the same cost as someone who's healthy.
Bacon, as well as Nebraska's citizens, will find out who is the U.S. representative from Nebraska's 2nd District on Tuesday, November 6th. Although the race is close, Bacon leads New York Times polls with 51%.
Recently, Don Bacon was seen with Senator Deb Fischer at Claus, a local agriculture technology manufacturer, discussing his trade, farm bill, and tax reform. Live for the Omaha News, I'm Brittany Calvert.
Thanks, Brittany. If elected, Republicans would maintain control of all 3 of Nebraska's congressional districts.
After a swap in seats between parties, Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District is up for grabs. Reporter Jessica Wade is reporting live to discuss more on her issues and main concerns.
In hopes that her platform, centered around health care, education, and gun control, will get her elected to Congress against Republican opponent Don Bacon, whose views are polar opposite her own.
Kara Eastman is a nonprofit executive with a master's degree in social work from the Loyola University of Chicago. She runs the Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance, a nonprofit organization she started in 2006. In 2016, before the presidential election, she decided to run for Congress because of a conversation she had with one of her parents.
My mom was diagnosed with cancer for the 5th time, and we were having a conversation about her prescriptions, and she had been prescribed a pill that was $2,500.
The high price of prescriptions was one of the major factors for her campaign. Kara supports Medicare for all and believes that healthcare is a right.
In the wealthiest country in the world, we can afford to provide health insurance, health care to everybody.
Education is very important to her as well, and she is in favor of the College for All Act, which makes 2-year colleges free. The student debt in the United States is at $1.5 trillion, and this act will help future students and the country as a whole.
They can't afford to buy a home. They're not able to choose the careers that they want to go into because they're more worried about paying off their loans.
Eastman is also in favor of changing the tax policy for a plan that works for the middle class and the people in poverty. as she does not support the Republican tax bill.
That was a handout to the billionaires and the very large corporations in our country that don't need that.
On top of education, taxes, and healthcare, she also favors immigration reform, passing a Clean Dream Act, a ban on assault weapons, and universal background checks, fighting climate change, and is pro-choice. For the Omaha News, I'm Gonzalo Avalos.
Eastman is a big proponent of gun control, including universal background checks, mandatory waiting periods, and the ban of assault weapons. She wants to ensure the safety of schools, churches, and public places with these laws. For the Omaha News, I'm Jessica Wade.
Thanks, Jessica. If elected, Cara Eastman would be the first female representative of Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District.
James Whitey Bulger, the Boston gangster who eluded authorities for 16 years before being captured and then convicted in 2013 for participating in over 11 murders, has died at a prison in West Virginia. The 89-year-old was found dead on October 30th after being held at the Hazleton Penitentiary in Brewston Mills, West Virginia. Authorities have not released a cause of death, but Justin Terovitsky, a prison union official, told the Associated Press that the death was being investigated as a homicide.
Coming up next on the election preview show, we take a look at the race for Nebraska Senate.
And we look at Republican Deb Fischer and Democrat Jane Raybould and what they stand for.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Habitat for Humanity of Omaha brings together hard hats, paintbrushes, and volunteers to give people like Candace the key to their dream home.
Welcome to my home.
Find your reason to volunteer.
I like to volunteer. I volunteer.
I volunteer because I think it's important to give back to the community.
Pick up that hard hat and start changing lives.
Thank you, Habitat for our home.
Volunteer with Habitat for Humanity.
Social media can be fun, but it can also be a powerful tool. At the UNO Social Media Lab, we work together to advance our understanding of social media and technology on the UNO campus and beyond with research application services such as real-time social media tracking, social media listening, and assistance on how to work with first-party social media tools such as Twitter and Instagram analytics. We have also consulted and collaborated with communities in Nebraska to help them leverage social media to work for their communities.
Hey, why did you beat him up? He just wanted you to turn in my radio.fm for Haunted Harlem. Oh.
This is the Omaha News.
After serving a 6-year term in the U.S. Senate, Republican Deb Fischer seeks to maintain her seat in Washington. Reporter Analera Ramirez details how Fischer plans to rally votes for another term as one of Nebraska's 2 representatives.
If you live in Nebraska, you will be deciding who will take the next seat for the Nebraska U.S. Senate. Incumbent Senator Deb Fischer is running against Jane Raybould, a member of the Lincoln City Council, and Libertarian Jim Schultz. A lifelong Nebraskan, Deb Fischer is the senior senator from Nebraska and was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2012. She faced Democrat Bob Kerrey and won 88 of Nebraska's 93 counties. And before her election to the U.S. Senate, Fischer served in the Nebraska unicameral, representing the 43rd Legislative District since 2004. Senator Fischer believes that the first duty of Congress is to defend the nation. Fischer is a member of the Critical Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. She is pro-life and is a strong supporter of the Second Amendment.
Candidate Deb Fischer advocates to being an honest, conservative leader who will stand up to Washington and fight for Nebraska.
Fischer has been endorsed by different organizations and corporations here in Nebraska. For the Omaha News, I'm Analia Ramirez.
Deb Fisher has served as the chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee on Surface Transportation and Merchant Marine Infrastructure to help modernize outdated infrastructure.
Nebraska Senate candidate Jane Raybould plans to use her past experience in the grocery store industry to reclaim a seat for the Democratic Party. Reporter Mackenzie Parsons provides an inside look at how Raybould will convince voters to choose her on November 6th.
Jane Raybould is Nebraska born and raised, and she is proud of it. She is currently serving on the Lincoln City Council, where she is trying to help reduce property taxes by cutting waste and making a more efficient government. She helps her family run their 19 locations of B&R grocery stores across the state, and she feels as if her experiences with the grocery stores could help her help Nebraskans.
I'm a business owner, a job creator. I know what it's like to balance a budget. I know what it's like to make a payroll. And I say I bring my business brain with me wherever I go.
Raybould is a lifelong devoted Catholic who believes in giving back to the community as part of her faith, but she won't let her faith control her views on certain social issues like abortion. She thinks that Washington politicians have no right to tell women and Nebraska families what to do when it comes to an unintended pregnancy.
I do trust families. I do trust women to make the best decision for their family based on their own faith and based on the recommendation of their physician.
The Democratic candidate's #1 issue is health care. She wants quality, affordable health care for Nebraskans. So, Jane Raybould wants Nebraska's vote. Why should Nebraska vote for Jane Raybould?
Because my vote can't be bought. I will put the needs of Nebraska before party and our people before politics. I will always put Nebraska first.
For the Omaha News, I'm Mackenzie Parsons.
Jane Raybould says she's fighting to support military families and veterans, and she is working on improving Nebraska's educational system. She plans to bring independent-minded leadership to Nebraska and problem-solving skills to Washington.
The local bakery, Donut Stop, closes its doors on October 31st and was the site of a wedding photo shoot. Leanna Malley, who also loved the Donut Stop, and she also joked how she loved it so much she would get married there. Since the announcement of its closing, the 26-year-old decided to take her wedding pictures there before it was too late. The only catch is that she is single. Malley jokes that she can just Photoshop her future husband into the photos later.
Famous married travel bloggers Vishnu Viswanath and Meenakshi Moorthy, who regularly shared their many adventures with thousands of Instagram followers, died last week after falling from Taft Point in Yosemite National Park. Taft Point is a popular overlook that towers 3,500 feet above Yosemite Valley. The couple fell about 800 feet in an area with very steep terrain. The couple will be remembered by family, friends, and about 18,000 Instagram followers.
And you can follow all the election night coverage next Tuesday, November 6th, starting at 7 on TKN and 8:30 on NET World.
Coming up next, we take a look at Omaha sports.
We congratulate the women's volleyball coach on her 500th win and catch up on the latest men's and women's soccer and hockey.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Every vote counts. This is a common phrase you hear during election time.
I think it's important for young people to vote so our voices can be heard.
Young voters account for half of the voting population. In this Nebraska 2018 election, let your voice be heard. You can directly influence issues that can affect your daily life. Get involved. Check your voter status. Learn how to register if you haven't already. And then watch your vote count on the Omaha News, Tuesday, November 6th at 7 o'clock on the Knowledge Network.
No More Empty Pots is the only one of its kind in North Omaha. With the purpose of providing kitchens, classes, and various resources for local chefs, this nonprofit values the relationships between themselves and the community. Current renovation will create space for community gatherings as well as a kids' kitchen, where there will be various classes offered. No More Empty Pots aims to fight poverty with chefs at every level. To find out more, visit nmepomaha.org.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
For over a century, the Child Saving Institute has been responding to the cry of a child.
helping children and their families in all sorts of circumstances, through pregnancy counseling, to early childhood education, and family therapy, to foster parenting. The Child Saving Institute is here to make sure we give children from infants to young adults the best childhood possible. Child Saving Institute, where childhood matters, we make a difference.
Welcome back to Maverick Sports on the Omaha News. I'm Justin Keys. A somewhat dismal start to the UNO hockey season got worse this past weekend. Following a couple embarrassing losses to top-ranked Notre Dame, Omaha traveled down to Tempe, Arizona to play a 2-game series against Arizona State. The Sun Devils got the better of the Mavericks, sweeping them in impressive fashion. Omaha was down nearly the entire series and wound up losing 6-3 on Friday and 7-2 on Saturday. While it's still early in the season, it is becoming clear that Omaha is not going to be a top team this year. The Mavs open up their conference play this weekend against Miami, who now has ex-Omaha assistant coach Peter Menino. Menino made headlines among fans after last season when he took a job with Miami. Anytime a coach goes to a rival, it makes headlines, but the animosity grew further when Menino took a couple of Omaha's top recruits. It should be an interesting series, not only on the scoreboard, but on the ice to see if there's any love lost between the two sides. In warmer news, the women's soccer team clinched its first ever conference tourney berth this Sunday when they beat Western Illinois 2-1. Thanks to 2 goals by Kiana Dualin. Those were Dualin's first career goals, and they couldn't have come at a better time for the Mavericks. Omaha will open the Summit League Conference Tournament this Saturday in Brookings, South Dakota, and we'll have all the coverage and highlights for you next week. Omaha volleyball is off to its best conference start in program history. However, that's not the only thing that rewrote the record books so far this season. Head volleyball coach Rose Shires also found her 500th win amid the team's success. Sports reporter Ellie Brecht reports on what 500 wins and getting coached this squad means to her.
29 years as head coach and over 500 career wins for Rose Shires, but to her, that's just a bonus.
When you win 500 matches, I think what you learn along the road of winning 500 matches is that each one is important. And so to me, it wasn't winning 500. To me, it was winning that match.
Coach Shires is well aware of the platform she has been gifted as head volleyball coach at the University of Nebraska-Omaha, playing a prominent role in the lives of many young women.
One of the most prideful things for me is the fact that I have coached at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. I have coached over 340 athletes.
The number is astonishing, but what's even more is the legacy Shires aspires to leave in the program.
I want to have a group of young women feel that they have been empowered to be the best version of themselves that they could be.
Shires claims that the most valuable part of her position are the bonds she forms with her players.
But I think the type of relationship I will always have and that I always want is a relationship of trust and respect.
Along with many years comes much success, as Shires has displayed both with her milestones and her character. For her, the most significant thing about her job is getting to see these young women develop into who they were made to be.
It gives you a lot of pride and a lot of joy, and the best way I can really think about it is just it makes you feel like you're just a proud mom.
Yeah. For Omaha Sports, I'm Ellie Brecht.
Coach Shires and her Mavericks look to build on their impressive conference record and will face the South Dakota State Jackrabbits on November 2nd at 7 p.m. in Sapp Fieldhouse. This is before their conference tournament begins in mid-November. If you're not heading to Baxter Arena this weekend or Sapp Fieldhouse for either the hockey or volleyball games, Maverick fans can also go to the soccer pitch at Caniglia Field to watch the men's soccer team's final home game of the year against Eastern Illinois. The Mavericks have already secured themselves a spot in the conference tournament, but can win the regular season title with a win versus Eastern Illinois and a Denver loss. That is all we have for you today for the Maverick Sports on the Omaha News. I'm Justin Keys. Joe, Mallory, back to you.
Coming up, we look into the issues that affect those who are residing in the United States with their own protection through the use of a federal program.
And next, we take a look at the race for Nebraska's governor and the issues that Republican Pete Ricketts and Democrat Bob Christ plan to tackle.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders, a place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Hey.
Hi, welcome to Durango Grill.
Yeah, can I get just whatever's quickest, please?
Coming right up.
Order up.
Durango Grill. Durango Grill.
Lyle, calm down.
Returning to our Vote 2018 election coverage, lower property taxes, support for manufacturing, farming, and international exports are just some of the strategies Governor Pete Ricketts has. Reporter Gabriel Escalara tells us how Ricketts has managed his administration and what are his plans if he is reappointed.
Incumbent Republican Governor Pete Ricketts is running for re-election to a second term. Ricketts, an entrepreneur and real estate investor from Nebraska City, who has opposed lawmaking proposals to legalize medical marijuana, pointed to Nebraska's place in national rankings in support of a second term as governor. Nebraska has the fourth lowest unemployment rate, leads in economic development projects per capita, is Forbes magazine's fourth best state for business, and is the seventh best state overall according to U.S. News and World Report.
To improve the economy, Ricketts wants to recruit new industry, mainly exporting and farming. On his recent visit to Mexico City, he said Mexico is a good neighbor, and he wants to keep the good relationship with Nebraska's second largest exporting market.
Recently, Hornady Manufacturing of Grand Island invited Ricketts to the company's ceremony of expansion. At the ceremony, Ricketts mentioned that more than 2,000 manufacturers employ nearly 100,000 employees in the state of Nebraska. Ricketts extended his congratulations to the Hornady family for their solid work and their developing of their company. Voters in Nebraska will hit the polls, giving to Democrat Bob Christ a minor chance to be the next governor of Nebraska. And Ricketts remains heavily favored to win a second term in this solid red state. For the Omaha News, I am Gabriel Escalera.
Ricketts' leadership of the state has won recognition even outside Nebraska, pointing voters to the statements of support from governors of other states as well as President Trump.
Democratic candidate Bob Christ is standing up with the hashtag #MeToo movement by placing a priority on ensuring that the culture within each state agency ensures that all employees feel safe, respected, and comfortable speaking up without fear of retribution. Christ wants to fix the property tax problem, oppose Trump's trade war, promote and support renewable fuel standards, promote alternative cash crops, focus on transportation issues, and prepare for the impact of climate change.
There are over 300,000 citizens residing in the United States under the temporary protection status. Our own George Cruz Alvarez is here reporting on how the removal of these statuses affects the country and our community.
For many individuals in the United States, the current administration's decision to revoke temporary protected status from migrants from countries like El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Haiti has shaken their lives and has had them questioning their future. Temporary protected status is designated to foreign countries due to conditions in that country that temporarily prevent the country's nationals from returning to safety. Alexis Steele is an immigrant worker staff attorney at the Immigrant Legal Center in Omaha.
Nebraska alone, last time I checked, has over 1,000 TPS holders. And so when you think of that, that's over 1,000 people here.
Individuals who have had TPS are contributing members to communities who pay taxes. Dr. Donia Reveco says that many of the major effects of the removal of TPS and how they relate to students will not be seen until TPS is removed, but the university is aware of the issue and is thinking of students.
The fact that they or someone they love, their parent, is going to lose this status obviously adds an extra layer of stress to a college life that is already a stress in itself.
On October 3rd, a California federal judge issued a preliminary injunction preventing the United States government from terminating TPS and employment authorization under it, while a current lawsuit challenging the decision is pending. But the case can of course be appealed. Should the decision not be reversed before April 2nd, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services will issue another extension up to January 2nd, 2020. For the Omaha News, I'm George Cruz.
Omaha residents looking for assistance can visit the Immigrant Legal Center or contact Nebraska Immigration Legal Assistance Hotline at 1-855-307-6730.
Tyler Perry, the American actor and comedian, recently revealed that he is killing off Medea in 2019. The 49-year-old actor said that it was Medea's time to go. He doesn't want to be her age playing her. Perry has been playing Medea since 1999, debuting the infamous character on stage during I Can Do Bad All by Myself. The character is based on a combination of his own mother, aunt, and Eddie Murphy's performance in Nutty Professor 2, The Klumps. Even though it is Medea's time, Perry will always have a special place for her in his heart.
Jalen Wright, or Buddha, as his teammates call him, is a 6'3", 195-pound cornerback from Arizona, and he has officially announced he is choosing Nebraska over UCLA. Buddha has been playing football since he was 4 years old, which was perfect since his dad was a college football star and a 6-year NFL veteran. His father is an ex-Husker, Toby Wright. His father's stories about the 1992 and 93 Husker teams that won Big 8 titles made him want to earn his black shirt. Nebraska needed more defensive backs on its roster, and Buddha said his footwork and technique, which was taught and honored by his father, could make him very versatile. Even though Toby Wright decided to let his son make his own decision, he is excited to see Buddha in his old stopping grounds. That's all we have for today. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday starting at 7 on TKN and 8:30 on NET World for Vote 2018.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UNO, the Omaha News, or search online unomahanews.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thank you for watching.
We will see you next week.
Goodness.
SSA is the Public Relations Student Society of America. We are a professional organization to help students develop their PR skills. You are learning those communication skills. You're out in the community doing community outreach, different service projects. PRSSA creates community.
PRSSA is networking.
PRSSA builds experience.
PRSSA is UNO.
For more information, go to unoprsssa.com.
Filmed like live at the University of Nebraska Omaha Studios, Consider This is a weekly half-hour primetime program that airs every Friday on the Knowledge Network. Hosted by Kathy Wyatt, the program guests engage in active discussion about a variety of news topics to inform and entertain all audiences. Join us next time on Consider This.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There is something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.